Our You Decide coverage continues ahead of South Carolina's June 11th primary, and right now our focus is on the race for Spartanburg County Sheriff. In the Republican primary, Chuck Wright is running for re-election, and his challenger is Nick Duncan. And for much more on his re-election campaign, we are joined now by Sheriff Chuck Wright. So Sheriff Wright, thank you so much for taking some time with us. I like to start these interviews all the same way. So why run for re-election? Why should the voters of Spartanburg County vote for you again?
I have 20 years of experience. We have a very good staff in place, and we have seen one of just about everything. We've had a serial killer. I mean, we've had everything. We've had marches, protests, officer-involved shootings. And I have a staff that stands to ready. Anything that happens, we can go respond to it right now. I don't have to put a staff together. You know, they've been there, done that, so to speak, and we have a very, very good crew that is ready to go out there and help any citizen, whether they're visiting or living, at any given time.
How do you maintain that preparedness as sheriff, especially move into another term? How do you maintain that preparedness for your deputies?
Well, I pray. I just pray a lot, man, and I really read the Bible, and God tells me what to do. But it's training, and it's keeping on top of trends. I have a very, very good training staff, and we're very fortunate to have them to keep up on things that are happening throughout the country that may or may not affect us. You know, 5 years ago, I didn't need a civil disobedience team. Now I have one, and they stand to the ready. And it's made up of all of the officers that are on this team. They're from each individual part of the sheriff's office. So if we have a riot, if we have something like that going on, we've equipped them and trained them to where they can use certainly less than lethal things like that and go and make the community safe.
Something I wanted to ask you about when looking at some statistics from Spartanburg County, the clearance rates in 2022, according to SLED, clearance rates for anyone at home looking at it, that's either where you've been able to identify a suspect, made an arrest, or there's been a conviction. SLED reports that in 2022, Spartanburg County had a 22% clearance rate for murder rates. That's compared to 96% Greenville County, 80% in Horry County. At 22%, you're looking at some numbers yourself. So how do you respond to some who may question those numbers back in 2022?
Well, I don't know where those stats come from.
SLED.
Okay, but it sounds like they were for the city of Spartanburg.
It is for Spartanburg County.
Okay, well, mine doesn't show that. Mine shows that we're at 50%. Okay, and like I was telling you earlier, the city of Spartanburg has a different ORI number. It's originating agency number. It's specific to that department. Theirs are going to be different than mine. So ours is a lot higher than what's been reported.
Is that 2023?
I got 2022 right here. He says 50.
And then
2023 is at 81.25%.
How have you been able to increase those numbers?
Well, we have fantastic officers that go out there and have great relationships with the community, and people trust us and they want to tell us these things, and we follow up with those kind of things and just investigate and do a great job.
Something else that we've sat down about before, inmate deaths. You had 7 inmate deaths in the county jail within 8 months. So what have you been able to do to adjust those numbers and correct those numbers? Because we sat down. You said you're seeing a lot of people come into those jails that really need a lot of help. So again, 7 and 8 months. What have you been able to do since then? Well,
I'm going to tell you, one death is too many in any facility. None of this was done at the officer's hands. Okay, it was all a pre-existing medical, some drug addictions and things that just unfortunately happened while they were in our custody. So we have been able, Major Chris Lesso is the major at the jail, he saw to it that our officers were trained a little bit better and a little more attuned into some of the things that they need to pay attention to, such as their eyes, their breathing, and just stuff like that. Are they eating? You know, are they dehydrated and those kind of things? The medical staff has done a real good job helping us because everybody don't have a medical background. So the nurses have done a really good job that we have over in the med techs is taught us how to, you know, take a blood pressure, you know, just simple things like that. And I'm gonna tell you, it's horrible when you have an inmate die. It's horrible when they die on the street, much less in our facility. It just gets more attention when they're in our custody. Right. We want to prevent all those things. And like I told you earlier, we don't have any that we've caused by neglect or any kind of violence or anything like that. So it's just very unfortunate.
Yeah. Your opponent had mentioned possibly outsourcing some of those roles with another medical team. Would that be an option at all from where you stand as sheriff currently?
Yeah, I think he already knew we were planning to do that anyway.
Okay.
It is a cost thing, and we have presented this with our council, and it's just very expensive. Now, I think it's better if we can get outside help to do that, and we don't have to worry about the staff doing it. Our staff does the best they can with what we have to work with. But I would prefer it be outsourced to some professionals. You know, but yeah, it's just a cost thing. We just got to find the money to do it.
But it is something in the works that
it is something that we're working on.
Okay.
Maybe get a grant. If any of the rich donors out there in Spartanburg would love to donate that money, we'd love to take it. But council is addressing it. You know, we just got to find the money.
Real quickly here, I want to ask, what is one of the biggest lessons you've learned in your time as sheriff?
Expect the unexpected. You know, and some of the people that you think and look at that would never do things that are crazy, they'll do it. You know, I've learned things about people that I really wish I didn't know. And I've learned too that you have to keep an open mind. Every single case is very different. There is no one standard case. It's like a DUI. You know, you get somebody for driving under the influence, there's 8 different factors on one and 1 on the other. A murder, it could be anything. It's just keeping an open mind and seeing how different people react, you know, to the situation. But it's very interesting how people perceive things. What I perceive as a threat, they would not, and vice versa.
Sure.
So.
Okay. Sheriff Chuck Wright, run for re-election, Spartanburg County Sheriff. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.